Namaste and welcome to GAP. Today we are going to discuss about the most controversial project of the United States of America, which is known as Willow Project. But before we start, let's understand the location of the Willow Project. It is located within the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska, NPRA, located entirely on the Arctic coastal plain. Here in the map, the Willow Project area is marked in red. Now, it will be easy for one of us to understand the topic. So, let's begin. As per the news from The Guardian, it says that the US government approves controversial Willow oil drilling project in Alaska. In today's session, firstly we will understand about Willow project and why it has been approved. Also, in the end we will share our views about Willow project. So, be with us until the end of this exciting and insightful session. First of all, what is Willow project? The Willow Project is an oil development project by ConocoPhillips located on the plain of the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska. In 1999, ConocoPhillips acquired the first Willow area leases in the northeast portion of the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska called the Beartooth Unit. In 2016, ConocoPhillips drilled 2 oil exploration wells. It named this discovery Willow. In 2018, it assessed the greater Willow area and discovered 3 additional oil prospects. Oil was discovered in the Willow prospect area west of Alpine, Alaska in 2016, and in October 2020, the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, approved ConocoPhillips' Willow development project in its Record of Decision, ROD. The project could produce up to 180,000 barrels of oil a day, according to ConocoPhillips, about 1.5% of total U.S. oil production. Willow is currently the largest proposed oil project on U.S. public land. The project is projected to deliver between $8 billion to $17 billion in new revenue for the federal government, the state of Alaska and North Slope borough communities. Willow will be built using materials primarily made and sourced in the U.S. and has the potential to create over 2,500 construction jobs and approximately 300 long-term jobs. So, this is all about Willow Project. Now, brief introduction of ConocoPhillips Company. ConocoPhillips Company is an American multinational corporation engaged in hydrocarbon exploration and production. It is based in the district of Houston, Texas. The company has operations in 15 countries. The company's production in the United States included production in Alaska, the Eagle Ford Group, the Permian Basin, the Bakken Formation, the Gulf of Mexico and the Anadarko Basin. Approximately 1/3 of the company's U.S. production is in Alaska. ConocoPhillips explores for, produces, transports and markets crude oil, bitumen, natural gas liquids and liquefied natural gas on a worldwide basis. Conoco name came from Continental Oil and Transportation Company and Phillips name came from the founder's name Frank Phillips, so together it is known as ConocoPhillips. Why people are protesting Willow Project? The proposed Willow oil project in Alaska has faced opposition and protests from various groups, including environmentalists, indigenous groups, and concerned citizens. Some of the main reasons for the protests include environmental concerns. Many environmental groups and concerned citizens oppose the Willow oil project due to its potential impact on the environment, including the risk of oil spills, air and water pollution, and harm to local wildlife and ecosystems. The project could also contribute to climate change by increasing greenhouse gas emissions. Impact on indigenous communities. Indigenous groups, including the Gwich'in and Inupiaq peoples, have expressed opposition to the project, citing concerns about the potential impact on their traditional subsistence activities and cultural heritage. The project area includes lands that are considered sacred by these communities. Economic viability. Some critics argue that the economic benefits of the project have been overstated and that the oil and gas industry in Alaska is in decline. They argue that the state should focus on developing renewable energy sources instead. Legal and regulatory concerns. Some opponents of the project have raised concerns about the legality of the leasing process and the adequacy of the environmental impact assessment conducted by the government. They argue that the government has not taken into account the full range of potential environmental impacts and has not adequately consulted with local communities. In addition, A surge of online activism against Willow has emerged on TikTok in the last week, resulting in over 1 million letters being sent to the Biden administration against the project and over 2.8 million signatures on a Change.org petition to halt Willow. There is always two sides of any coin, so if there are protesters of Willow project, then there are also supporters who support Willow project. Now, we will understand about the supporters. Supporters of Willow project. Alaskans and the state lawmakers support the Willow oil project is because it could create jobs and boost the local economy. The project is expected to create thousands of jobs during the construction and operational phases, providing employment opportunities for locals and potentially attracting new residents to the area. Additionally, the project could generate revenue for the state through taxes and royalties, which could be used to fund infrastructure projects and public services. Another reason is the project could help the United States achieve energy independence. The project would increase domestic oil production, reducing the country's reliance on foreign oil and potentially increasing national security. Why U.S. government approved the Willow project? On 13 March 2023, the President of USA Joe Biden approved a smaller version of the bigger plan after the Interior Department only approved 3 of the 5 drilling sites proposed by ConocoPhillips. Supporters say represents an economic lifeline for indigenous communities in the region. The exclusion of those additional sites reduced the size of the 200-well project by about 40% and eliminated the need for 11 miles of road, 20 miles of pipelines, and 133 acres of gravel, all of which reduces potential impacts to caribou migration and subsistence users. The company also agreed to give up rights to about 68,000 acres of existing leases within the National Petroleum Reserve Alaska to reduce its footprint on the land by 1/3. The action reduces the project's freshwater use and eliminates all infrastructure related to the 2 rejected drill sites. ConocoPhillips also said that after nearly 5 years of rigorous regulatory and environmental review, the National Environmental Policy Act (NEPA) process is complete. Willow is designed to support and coexist with subsistence activities, with many mitigation measures built into the project design. View of GAP Global Apoliticism Team. It is a complex issue with potential benefits and drawbacks that must be carefully weighed and balanced. On one hand, the project could provide jobs and economic benefits to the region, including revenue for the state of Alaska. The oil and gas produced from the project could also contribute to domestic energy security and reduce dependence on foreign oil. On the other hand, the project could have negative impacts on the environment, including the risk of oil spills and air and water pollution, as well as potential harm to local wildlife and ecosystems. The project could also contribute to climate change by increasing greenhouse gas emissions. Willow project is or was good for human beings. The answer lies in the future. So, this brings to the end of today's discussion. I hope I have been able to make you understand about Willow project. If you have any questions for us, you can comment in the comment section or email us. We would be happy to help. Thank you for your time. Stay safe and stay happy.